request that we kind of share this in other mediums other than just live panels. So today we're going to try to tape it and put it on YouTube, so it's cool. If anybody has any questions about anything we talk about later, we'll do like a Q&A after we kind of go over some of the equipment. First, I'll introduce myself. I'm Corey Alexander with the Arizona Ghostbusters.
Henry Cortez, James Lewin.
And we're all with the Arizona Ghostbusters. And if you're, who in here is not familiar with what the Arizona Ghostbusters does? Everybody knows? Okay. Arizona Ghostbusters, we're a costume charity group. We dress up in costume, we go to events, and raise money and awareness for different good charities. All the money we raise goes directly to the charities. We don't reclaim any of it for any of our donations. So when you see raffle prizes, that's either things that we've had donated from vendors. A lot of times team members go and buy stuff like logo hats at Spencer's, or they'll get a video game for cheap on sale, put that in the raffle box. So that's all stuff that we collect or get ourselves and put in the raffle box. Sometimes we get Twinkies donated, like we did this weekend, and we sell those for like $1 each. Everything goes to charity, so that's what we're about. So we're not all about the props, and you'll see like there's all different varieties and degrees of the equipment that we have. About the only thing that is uniform between all the members is our jumpsuits. So if you're interested in becoming a member, that's like the one thing that we want to all look the same in. And so we have one outfit that we all purchase, the same outfit. It comes from U.S. Cavalry. It's a true spec. Comes in khaki, and then one packet of pearl gray dye in the wash, and it turns this. It's got a little bit of, you can't tell against unless you get to look at the pure khaki. This has a little bit of a dirty kind of gray tinge to it. So really, all we ask our members to do to have before they get started is a full jumpsuit, and they don't have to have all the doodads that go on the belt. Just a jumpsuit, boots, belt, elbow pads are nice. So I guess I'll start with the belt. Is just a standard 3-hole military issued pistol belt. I think the uniform itself is 35. 35 for the jumpsuit. The pistol belt is like 10 to 12, depending on where you get it. Some surplus stores have them. Boots varies however much you want to spend on boots. And then elbow pads are anywhere from 20 to 30-ish. So you can put together a complete uniform fairly inexpensive. And then we also have our name patches, and then the custom Arizona Ghostbusters logo made by a seamstress up in Phoenix. She only makes them for our team, so we don't really sell them. They're kind of a protective thing just for people that are active members of the group. So it kind of stays just for us. So yeah, that's the uniform. All the stuff you hang on your belt goes from standard chemical gloves, and you don't have to get chemical gloves. They have just yard work gloves that are rubber coated and Ace for like $4. They're shorter, but when you tuck them in the belt, nobody knows. So it doesn't matter if you have real chemical gloves. These were 10. So it's between 4 and 10. It's not a lot. And again, there's not everybody's stuff matches. You've got a lifeguard on you, which is this yellow box here you see from the second film, and it's a device that was used by firefighters, and it looked good on the Ghostbusters 2 suits, so that's what they used in the second film. The radio, this is the same radio they used in the film. It's the Motorola MT500. Some people don't use the same radios. We all try to get the same radios, legit. This one's different. To date, I think I'm the only one that's done this, is I've put a Bluetooth speakerphone in this one, so it's tethered to my phone in my pocket, so I can answer phone calls on it when I'm on the floor and not get my phone out. It's kind of nerdy, but whatever.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. Nerdy, awesome, synonymous. Yeah, you can call me. We'll do a demo. It's fun. So it's a speakerphone. That's fun. The other doodads on our belts, some guys have flashlights, because those are canon from the video game. They didn't wear them in the films, but the video game's considered canon. These are like $6 at the surplus store, I think, 6 or 7. I didn't bring my foam PKE meter, but this is actually one of the coolest things that Mattel ever released. Is a lot of people have spent a lot of money making accurate PKE meters, like in the neighborhood of $300 to $400 to make one of these. And Mattel, 2 years ago, they decided they would make and release a collectible PKE meter. And the neat thing about it is it has full lights and motion and sound, and it was $60. So it's neat if you built one, and I'm sorry if you didn't, because Mattel is actually coming out with some really cool props that are, I mean, screen accurate. So, and the ghost trap. We'll go with the ghost trap next. This is one that we do have different versions of. This is the Maddie one. Well, before Maddie, Mattel released a real, and that's as accurate as you're going to get for the money. This was 100 or 120, 120, and it does everything. I'll demo it in a minute. Before these, you had to build one, and Henry took the time to build one. I'll let him tell you a little bit about that one.
It's basically just made out of foam board, but usually a lot of our plans that we have are from gbfans.com. You can go on there and they have equipment plans. There's like 3 or 4 plans you can go off there and show you comfortable with. This is pretty much just made out of foam board with a board for Michaels. It's like $2 a big sheet. I probably use like maybe 3 sheets. Foam board and hot glue. Actually, the for sale signs that are like the aluminum, they actually cut with the utility knife pretty easy. That made like the metal plates. That's pretty much it. Some paint.
And the beautiful part is if you look at the films, and this will ruin the films for you if you're a detail person, but when you look at the films, most of the time, and it's not just Ghostbusters, it's any film, most of the time, the actors on the screen are not wearing stuff that looks good this close. They're wearing stuff that looks good 20 feet away, it looks good on film, this is before high definition and everything else. So a lot of times if you're watching, the packs are really substandard if you're really looking at the film. So if you go back and rewatch the film, sometimes you'll see the packs are actually made out of foam rubber where they back into a wall and the pack will actually squash. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So again, they don't always look, I mean, when we do these kind of events, our packs have to look good if you want them to look good. I mean, if you're going for detail, you can go for detail. The first pack I built didn't go for detail. We'll get to the packs in a minute, but just before anybody gets freaked out about it's got to look perfect, it is not about perfect. We went over the uniform, that's the only thing that we care about on circlet. This has got to look good. And you'll notice sometimes guys that are in the booth or on a parade route, usually parade route, we try to get everybody packed. But a lot of events, sometimes you'll see people not wearing packs. It's okay. You don't have to have every technology, doodad, everything on you all the time. It gets heavy and it's tiring and expensive if you want to go crazy with it. We'll go back to the trap. His is really cool, and prior to being able to purchase a trap, that's all you can do. This is the second issued toy. I say toy, it's kind of collectible, whatever, but the Mattel issued, it just made, people have spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars making these. And how much is it like? $600? So $600 to build one of these by hand was a good price. Then you have your labor and everything else. This is $120 out the door with the pedal, everything. And I'll give you a demo. This one even has sound. Can we put it on the floor? Can everybody see it? I'll put it on the table. And so it's got sound. It's activated. You don't look in it.
I looked in the trap.
Everybody look in it. It's dangerous. And then and then the lights come on. And then the best part is if you watch it, it's in there. Yeah, look. It's random. It moves.
That was awesome!
It moves, there's something in there. And so as far as, oh, and the cartridge also comes out, which is cool. So it's like screen accurate as far as you can. You're not going to get any more for $120 than something that's already done. Some guys like to build everything. I like to build stuff, but sometimes it's just easier to buy something that's done. These, there's really not another option to building. And there's all degrees of building. And we'll start, do you want to start with yours? Will we work this way? Or which one? Yeah, do the foam board one first. You want to do foam board and wood, and then we'll go to vacuum form. So we'll do that one this way.
So basically foam board again. Some of these are found parts. Most of it's all just foam board from life as again. GBFans.com again is probably the best place for you to find clients for it as far as benefits and everything. This is like those microwave things you put it on top of your food so it doesn't splatter. Cut the holes out, put some washers on them. Some of these are stuff you can find on eBay or on GBFans. They sell the actual replica resin parts. It's mostly just foam boards and paint. You can print out the stickers off your GBFans also. That's pretty much it. The same thing with the alarm that attaches to the side of it. You can accessorize it as much as you want. You can put lights in there. Everything I have a little light in there. Stuff like that. These are light grips. Cut them down and put them on there.
And then that's totally passable. Like, how much was in it? You think for a ball? So see, you can get a pack that is great for events, great for your own dress up parties, Halloween stuff like that. That is totally passable for $100. It's no problem. This was my first one, and then this is 2 weeks. How long did you build up? Yeah, 3 times. Well, my family went out of town for 2 weeks before Halloween. The first time I decided to build a pack, so I had 2 weeks of evenings and weekends that I didn't have anybody on my time, which was a rarity. And so I took advantage of it by spending all my waking hours away from work building a pack. We should probably talk about the frame. This one is the frame. We'll start with the frame. All the frames are the same. It's just an Alice frame, the military backpack frame. These are like 60.
Usually find like in town, like you go to certain place. They have new ones. They also have used ones. The used ones are probably better than the other ones.
Weathered, yeah. And so you start with a backpack frame, and this one's all built out of plywood and mostly quarter-inch plywood and thin pine, the whole thing. And then the surfaces that don't really have any wood grain in them, with a little bit of sand a lot on it, I just got it done. Some of the surfaces are, the styrene for sale signs, the real thin plastic. You buy them in this, and you just glue them on the wood and use a razor blade to trim around them after you've gotten your wood frame built, and you end up with a really nice surface to take the paint well. These are just little strips that I cut down, these little ribs. This texture, this is a weather strip for a door that you just cut into strips and make them, booster frame ladder. And then this is mine's a cake pan. This is an aluminum cake pan, washers. And then I just bondoed the rim where the cake pan's rolled under. I just built it with bondo. The valves, these are pill bottles, prescription pill bottles with pieces of dowel glued on the ends. This is a Betty Crocker frosting container. It's just whatever random stuff that's sort of the shape, and then again, following the plans online, you can get really close. And I think I might have $200 in this one, but this was the first one. I didn't at the time. All I had was I put Christmas lights in it, so the lights were steady. And I did go back and put just a basic light kit in it that does that. And I think the light kit was like 60. So if you want accurate pack lights, you can do that. The wand still has, this is a terrible wand compared to the guys that spend lots of money making nice ones. And it's got all it is wadded up Christmas lights inside there. That's all it is. It runs on there's like 4 C batteries in here, and this one weighs almost nothing. And so that was my first pack. Turn that on. And then I guess the next one that Henry retired his foam board pack. Yeah.
I went it's called a vacuum form shell. It's basically they make a mold. They made a mold in wood of this whole shell, pretty much everything except the accessories. So you got this whole piece, and they make a plastic mold of it in the vacuum form machine. And I bought it from Studio Creation. They make it. You can find it online, studiocreations.com. And it's this here minus the gun. That's actually a kit you can buy online. So pretty much just putting it together. This is all resin. Other than the plastic, there's resin parts here, the clipper here, the bumper's resin. This little parts here and there. It also has a light kit too. We actually we found the soundboard chip to put sound in there.
This is my current pack. It's probably the last one I'm going to build, just because I don't know what else I want. I don't want to go any further than this. This one is very similar. The gun is the same. Yours is the same kit as mine. Yeah. So the gun is the same kit. The light kits are very similar. The sound kits are very similar. The big difference in the packs is that's the vacuum form shell. This one's fiberglass. So the big component is all one piece, and then it's bolted onto an aluminum motherboard. And so the motherboard on this one, you see is aluminum like that, with spacers. This is my battery. Some guys use alkaline batteries or rechargeables of some kind. I use a lithium polymer rechargeable battery on mine. Been having problems with this weekend. It's not lasting very long, and I don't know why. But they're all different. I've got a lot of the same resin pieces. This one has, you'll notice the ribbon cable between them are different. This one's got kind of the fine, lots and lots of ribbon cable or wires and ribbon. This is the Ghostbusters 2 ribbon cable. Unless you watch the films and you're a real nerd, you're never going to know the difference. But I really wanted Ghostbusters 1 ribbon cable, which to me looks more authentic and cool because I'm a big Ghostbusters 1 fan. And somebody went and found there's not the correct ribbon cable, but they started selling the individual wires that were the correct wires made into the ribbon cable, and you could buy 4 feet of each of the colors, and then you use clear heat shrink tape, and you make your own ribbon cable if you want to get real crazy. So I made my own ribbon cable. This is called the shock mount, and this is not movie accurate. There's one in the film is actually like an aluminum bellows that's kind of squishy. That's why you see it, if you look real close in some scenes, it's bent. It's like a bend in it. They backed into something and torqued it around and it got stuck. This is actually machined out of aluminum bar. And I have one of the movie accurate ones, but I don't want to use it because I don't like it as much as this one. So it doesn't have to be all about being totally accurate. You can take some creative license with it. This one also has all the resin parts on it. This is aluminum, resin. The decals, I got 3 of these, the labels that were actually silk screened aluminum plates. So I bought there's aluminum ones on here in some places. And this one's got full lights and sound also. We'll see if it's going to behave today. It was giving me problems earlier. So I don't know what sound that is, but it's the only one I know to kill the sound when it first comes on. But this one has a startup animation. So all the light kits are different. Like you can get crazy with them. There's 2 light kits in this. There's one in the pack and one in the gun. And sometimes you can get them from 2 different guys. Sometimes you buy them from the same guy. And I think this one came with a cable. like a network cable, and the two kits talk to each other. So when you do things on the gun, it does things with the pack. So this one has for the firing sequence. Let's see if we can get it. It actually has an overheat sequence. If I can get it to work. Crazy with it. I decided this is probably my last one I'm going to build, so I'm going to go really crazy. So I did. And again, this is not required to join the group. I can't stress that enough because a lot of people get freaked out and go, there's no way I can, build that, or there's no way I can buy that. Some guys can build their own stuff, and some guys will go and purchase. I didn't make the fiberglass shell. I didn't make the resin parts. This was a lot more craft work, and this was buying near finished components from individuals that have been making those components for the community for a while, and then putting them together. So picking the ones that I really like and making my pack. So, anything you want to talk about before we do questions? Okay, questions. Yes. How much is what? This shell, just the fiberglass shell, and that's, tilt it up again. The shell is everything except for like the tube, this tube, the trim pieces, the bumper, these tubes, and this arm. So if you imagine all that stuff gone and just down to a shell, the shell was $350. And then the aluminum motherboard from the same guy. You want to make sure, this is a good point, if you buy a shell, make sure you get the motherboard that fits it. Because not all motherboards, and the motherboard is the aluminum plate that it's mounted to. Because if you'll notice, these are real close in dimension between the shell and the plate that it's mounted on. If you don't get them from the same guy, there's a good chance they're not going to fit correctly. Be doing some trimming and some bondo, and you may not be as happy with it. So that is very important. Yes?
Both of those are studio. So this is studio creations. These vacuum form shells are like 60 bucks, which is a really good deal for doing a budget pack. And all I did was cut some plywood to the shape of the back, and that's my $100. Kind of like his aluminum one that I cut out of the bottom. So this is like a budget thing.
And if you put this one and that one next to each other, they're very, very close. And this one, there's a lot more money in this than there is that, just because I'm building one more and I'm done. And so I was thinking about doing the vacuum form route, and I knew I would just probably end up building another one until I just got to my finish line and it's wanted to be done. But if you put them next to each other, there's no reason to do this unless you really, really want to. Because he had that pack before I had mine. And I was still wearing this and I was really jealous. And I wanted, that's a good looking pack. And we do, in the team, we also do help. Sometimes we'll host build days where maybe like on a Saturday or something, we'll meet at somebody's house for team members that have been kind of working with the group, and they're not just in it for 5 minutes, and they'll do one event to get their hands on props or pick our brains for knowledge and split. Guys that are dedicated, guys and girls, of course, we do have women busters as well, but busters that are interested in doing it and they put in the time. Sometimes we'll have build days where we'll meet at somebody's house, and when was it last fall when we did the sound? We decided, because we didn't originally have sound in our packs. There's two teams. There's a team in Phoenix, which is a really big team. We probably have 30 busters now. Is that right? It's close. About 20. Close. And in Tucson we have 3. So the 3 of us decided, well, nobody else has sound in their packs. So we're going to get together and purchase we're going to get 3 speakers, 3 sound kits, 3 amplifiers, 3 sets of switches, and we're going to have a build day. So we rounded up all our components, picked a Saturday, came over to my house, we set up tables in the garage with soldering irons and lights and heat shrink tape, and we went to town and we put sound in our pack one day, and it was just a fun, friends hanging out together, prop build day. So. Yes?
Did you see the ghost truck the ghost truck you build, you build it or you just
This one here?
Yeah.
This one's good. The one he showed you, you can get on Madden Collection.
Yeah, this one. Mattel. MattyCollector.com.
It's under Mattel, but it's a Madden Collector.
Yeah.
It's actually sold out.
It's sold out now?
Yeah.
Okay, so eBay.com. Yeah. How much are they on eBay? 300. So, this year, I guess, when is it December or January they're coming out with it? Sometime around there. I should have got my goggles downstairs. Ecto goggles is also another prop. I don't really wear mine very much because they put indentations in your head, mess up your hair. But you know, from the ballroom scene when Ray wears the modified night vision goggles. Yeah, and the cheapest way to build those, and I actually built a few sets and sold them just because it was something to do one year. Is the green welding goggles. And if anybody wants to see the welding goggles, they're Ecto goggles, come to our booth later, and I'll be happy to get them out and show them to you. It's just green rubber with the rectangle flip-up lens in it, welding goggles with PVC and electrical fittings on it, and then stickers you print at home and tape on the outside, and you have goggles.
That's a good one if you don't have a pack ready. You have your goggles.
Totally.
Maybe get busted for all of you.
Yeah, uniform and goggles is definitely it's another level of trim to the suit. And I think those goggles are 15, 18, something like that, and a few little tight fittings, so it's $25 out the door and you've got goggles. Any other questions? Yes?
For the mom kids?
Yes.
You
Multimedia Mayhem is the name. MultimediaMayhem.com. .net. He's in Canada, and he actually sells some really, really cool stuff. And it's very reasonable for what he sells. I think the gun kit was $165, $180, and so that's when you buy his kit. Mine's got some other parts on it that I got from a friend, but what you see here is pretty much the kit. It's a complete kit, so it's everything from here up. So it's the grips, the tubing, all the fittings. Was that the switches with it? No switches.
The switches would be with your light.
With the sound and lighting, yes. And then, you'll see, the only thing that I upgraded from his kit was all the knobs. I had a friend that had some extra aluminum knobs left over, so these are actually aluminum knobs. But the ones that come in the kit are resin, and once you sand them up and paint them, you can't tell. Yeah.
Mine are all resin. This is pretty much the big kit that he sells.
Yeah. And you can't tell the
switches from the left.
And some guys, I decided to paint mine in flat black. I know it's not as accurate as the shiny black. The shiny black's more screen accurate. But for some reason, I was drawn to make mine flat black, so that's what I did. Yeah. Nobody cares. Oh, here I'll show you one other cool thing. This is something that nobody in the community, I don't think, had done before. Before I started using the lithium polymer and just clipping it to the back, I was trying to figure out, that one has a trapdoor on the back for the C cells, but I wanted to run this one on. This one ran on 8 AA's for a long period of time. But I didn't want them exposed. I didn't want them where you could see them, even on the back plane. I really wanted to hide them, so I found a place to hide 8 AA's.
It's awesome.
And nobody in the community had done that before, and made the booster tube, left it hollow, and put a 8 AA holder, glued it on the end of the plug, and put it in there. So when it used to run on AA's, that's where the AA's went. And when my lithium polymer batteries are acting up, I can plug in 8 AA's and still rock and roll. Other questions? No? Okay. And if you want, you're welcome to come up here to the front and check this stuff out. So I think we have time left. Yeah, we have lots of time left in here. So if you guys want to come up and check any of it out, ask individual questions, you're sure welcome to. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.